In this episode, we're digging into step 4 of measuring the metrics that matter, how to track data for those metrics. In the past 3 episodes, we've walked through the first 3 steps. Step 1, have clear, specific goals with timelines. Step 2, for each goal, determine how you will know when it's done. Step 3, make a list of leading indicators for that goal. What actions are taken in pursuit of getting it done? Now that you know what you want to do, when it's done, and what actions show progress towards that goal, let's break down how to get the data that will allow you to see the progress, or lack thereof, towards those goals. When it comes to measuring progress, there are all kinds of fancy, advanced, complex ways to track and report this. And while that type of automated dashboard may ultimately be desirable, it's usually not the place to get started. I prefer to go with the start simple and get fancy later approach and save time, energy, and money. Here's the thing. If we build a complex system for the first version, there's likely a lot of things we don't know, learnings we'll have, and then the complex system has to be updated, which can be some heavy lifting. If we start simple, we can get the learnings and iterations without a ton of effort. And once we have a well-defined and tested system, then we can put in the automation or other systems that support less manual work there. Great. The other challenge with gathering the data is it's hard to know where to start. And once started, trying to be consistent. So let's take a moment and sync up on the purpose of having this information. The purpose is to evaluate progress towards our stated goals and have real-time information to make adjustments to those activities and stay on course. In other words, to connect the dots between the effort the effort that we're putting in, and the results that come from those efforts. So what if there could be a simple way to capture this data that is needed to regularly check in and see if we're on track with the defined leading indicators? There it is! The simplest version of tracking anything is to set up a scorecard. See, I didn't even really have to explain it to you. You already can picture a version of this in your head, right? Maybe it's a golf scorecard or like the bowling screen in a bowling alley that shows you your gutter balls or the strikes. But the concept is straightforward. So definitely keeping simple in mind when setting this up. A spreadsheet with a date column and a column that has for us to input the score for the leading indicator is really all that's needed. Simple. When setting up a scorecard, I do recommend starting with just 1, maybe 2 leading indicators. Start simple. If we go back to the leading indicators we discussed in the last episode, for weight loss, we might choose to track the number of workouts, minutes, and the number of steps per week. In that case, a spreadsheet would be created with the week number or week date in a column, and then a column for the number of workout minutes, and a column for a number of steps. Then each week, on a Friday or a Sunday, the data can be entered here from a fitness tracker. I'll also typically add the goal for each column in the title. Like for example, it would say like workout minutes and then parenthesis target equals 90. Then each week, progress can be evaluated, and for the weeks where targets are met, reviewing what enabled that. And for the weeks where maybe we fell short of the target, evaluating what happened that prevented that target from being reached. If you need help, or if you want a written guide for this, we've got you, no problem. Head on over to FieryFX.com/5steps to download a worksheet to help you define these metrics that matter to your business and success. Ready to start tracking? The next episode, we'll go over the final step of the 5 steps to discover the metrics that matter. Worried you might miss it? Do your future self a favor and subscribe to Leverage Your Spark on your favorite podcast platform. Or you can also subscribe and share at leverageyourspark.com.